Talent greetings all. Miss Sunchipp here again. It seems Sunchipp is not going away anytime soon just yet, seeing that there is still work to be done. It's been brought to my attention yet again that Sunchipp and Blair are still believed to be the same person, which is not true. But that's not the reason for my appearance today. Blair received a message earlier this week, and we were made aware of it today. Earlier today, to be exact. And I just wanted to discuss this. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about what the message said because it's a long-winded one. I'll briefly mention some of it, but most of this will be my response to it. This whole thing about this person saying that they'll play his game, share the music, share the game itself. I don't believe it. Don't patronize us with your lies and your folly. We all know that you're lying and that you won't do it. And we don't care what you think. Well, at least I don't. I can't speak for Sunchipp, but I know I can speak for myself. The whole concept of overexposing yourself, there's no such thing as that. At least in documentation. Which is what we do here. Because these aren't vlogs. These are episodes exposing the truth, and the memes that are made and posted are by our community, not us, which we thank the community for. And this whole putting it out the minute it's made instead of making sure it's something you can put on a future greatest hit package, referring to the radio channel. If Sunchipp were to share his remixes later than he normally would, then it would severely upset the community, and we don't want that. Talent like this needs to be shared, and besides, what's the point on making a remix if it's just going to sit there and collect dust? And the whole belief of albums having 12 to 14 songs is very incorrect. A small band called Adios Beaches has 3 albums, all of them being small. One album having 7 songs, another having 3, and then a third one only has 1 song. Not to mention a lot of famous artists have a lot of albums that were just 1 song. They may be referred to as singles, but they're still albums nonetheless. This whole debacle about video games taking months to develop with promotions being out way before they drop. You're wrong about that again. And here's why I say this, because not even a week ago, Steamboat Willie's version of Mickey Mouse has become public domain. And there's already a game out called Infestation 88, or at least in production. We don't know how long it's been in production for. We don't even know if it's out yet. And this whole thing about movies take less than a month, allow me to prove you wrong yet again. Mickey Mouse Trap has also started after Steamboat Willie's version of Mickey Mouse has become public domain, and that was only about 5 days ago. There's also a flaw in your statement about movies and video games. You're comparing us to other companies. Keep in mind, we are not those companies. We are Sunchipp Studios. Allow me to remind everyone of something. Sunchipp Studios /radio/games has been built off of time, hard work, by hand, creativity, and love. Basically heart and soul. There has been bloodshed, pain, and suffering that has gone behind it. This bloodshed, pain, and suffering was only but a short time. It has since then not occurred after my arrival. And let me inform you of something. If we were to have allowed someone else to edit all of the work done here on Sunchipp Studios, it would not be the channel it is today, let alone have lasted this long. Besides, other publicists would have changed things around to how they want it to be and not how we want it to be. And that is not what Sunchipp Studios is about, nor would it be something Sunchipp would approve. Sunchipp's work is all done by hand, and will continue to be done by hand. And we do not want your advice, nor do I care for it. As I stated, Sunchipp Studios was created by hand, as a sword would be forged by a blacksmith. A sword needs a furnace to start off with, but it also needs a blacksmith to craft it by hand, even with assistance of a hammer. And this whole statement again about you need more zen, you honestly sound like a broken record at this point, repeating yourself. And no way would Sunchipp give up Mountain Dew. That too is a part of Sunchipp Studios, whether you want to believe it or not. I wouldn't give up voodoo after being introduced to it. And I don't care if it was said metaphorically, it was still said nonetheless. And you're just stating the obvious at this point, saying, let adrenaline and satisfaction with your work guide you. But let me remind y'all of something. I am the one that keeps him going in times of need. I am the backbone of Sunchipp Studio, while Sunchipp himself is the head. And the message ends off like this, with a quote, in quotation marks. It is not the top that sustains the mountains, it is the sides. And here you go again, trying to sound all wise with a quote. Let me correct you on something. You used someone else's quote, and 1, you twisted the words, 2, you didn't state the full quote, which reads, and yes, I did do the research, to live only for some future goal is shallow. It's the sides of the mountain that sustains life, not the top. This quote was stated by Robert M. Pirsig. You can search it up yourself, Pirsig. You failed to cite where you got the quote from, let alone who said it. But I did. Notice how I cited. But since you failed to cite where it was from, I'm pretty sure that's plagiarism, which you can get in a lot of trouble for, let alone get landed with a hefty fine. Well, with that being said, if need be, I will appear on here again. Till then, Miss Sunchipp, out.